Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
We're watching a Miku movie. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda got hyped for the Lord of the Rings stuff from Build-A-Bear, and now that I'm looking at it, I see that it's 100% not gonna work with the green screen, and I just don't care enough to go get like a sheet or something, so it's probably gonna look like a floating head, which I guess it is what it is at this point. The children yearn for Macross, they're just too dumb to know it. We watched the Miku, hold on, it's a colorful stage, a Miku who can't sing, which is a mouthful in its own, but the movie itself is okay. For most of it, I thought it was basically a 4 out of 10. It takes a long time to get its feet underneath it, and it's got about 16 characters too many. I went because my daughter wanted to see it. I guess the honest answer is I don't care about Miku on her own, or, you know, I guess I forget sometimes there are other Vocaloids because they're never in, like, pop culture and stuff. So, my daughter thought it was a 10 out of 10. So my answer to you is if you're into Miku, or you're into the game, which I guess is a colorful stage, I don't know, it's probably a 10. The people who are into both of those things seem to love it, where I don't know anything about Miku or the game, so I didn't love it that much because it doesn't really give you any time to explain it or meet any of these characters. The whole movie, there's like 20 kids running around and they're all very excited and they all have like their own lives. But because there are 20 of them, it's like you're watching Genshin Impact, the movie, but you started on movie 2 or 3, so you have no idea who any of them are, what their problems are, what's going on with them. It's just kind of a lot, in my opinion. Which, again, because I don't know anything about Sekai or whatever, I don't get it. But you pick up on it pretty quick. It just feels like a little cluttered. The problems I have with the movie are pretty simple. For a movie about what is effectively a pop star, it spends a lot of its time with just the one musical cue, and really never picks up on using more music throughout the movie, for me. It also feels like a struggle because before mine, there were like 4 ads, and there's the Ghibli one, because they're, for the 900th time they're doing that. But also, Summer Wars is going to be in theaters, and I think Summer Wars is a 10 out of 10. Everybody ought to watch it at least once, because even if you don't like Summer Wars, or you don't like that genre of anime, it's pretty great. It looks great, it's smooth, it's super fun. And the problem with this is, I think Demon Slayer was there too, and it's just not as good as Summer Wars. But the Miku movie doesn't have animation the way Summer Wars does. I'm sure it's a much cheaper production from the same company, but it just is not going to be Summer Wars. So it's hard to watch it and go, oh yeah, this animation is fine, because at the end of the day, it's a touch better than most of like your seasonal anime, but not by as much as you kind of want. And even like their big moments in the escapes, or like the cool train segment, which I really wanted to see more of, the animation is fine, but it probably could use a little bit more of the pepper or the zest or whatever you want to call it. It's probably just not going to make it on anybody's like Sakuga list. Even like the big dance moves or whatever, they're fun, they're exciting, but I wish they'd been broken up a little bit more, because it takes the movie a long time to get to that, like, I think it ends at an 8. It's pretty good. I wouldn't give it more because it doesn't do much to fill in what's like, you know, a layman. Me, I'm a layman. So, one of my favorite movies is Dread. I think that movie is a 10 out of 10, and that's because Dread does everything correctly. You don't need to know anything about it going in, and you don't need to, like, study it or anything. At the end of the day, that was Tuesday for Judge Dredd, and this is a movie that desperately needed to have that, or like a self-contained little adventure. Again, I don't really know anything about Vocaloids. A couple of times during the movie, I thought a couple of the people in the background were either Vocaloids or, like, just some dude hanging out, and I guess there's a red one, and I didn't know that, so that's how little I know about Vocaloids, which is basically nothing. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time, and it's exciting. There's a little concert at the end, and people were super excited and super jazzed. I was a little surprised when the credits rolled and nobody moved, because even, like, during a Marvel movie, which we're all, like, groomed and worn down that we'll just sit through it for anything, even after Deadpool teased us about it like 900 times. nobody moved. Everybody just sat there and waited. Patient. I will admit that, like, so I watched the G-Quacks about, like, I don't know, like a month ago. And to me, I think that does a better job, even though there's just a lot coming at you the whole time. It has, like, a pretty good, like, it tries its best to explain the plot of Mobile Suit Gundam as much as you really need to know it, which is, you know, not really as much as probably there is there. Or, like, Gurren Lagann has those interviews at the very beginning, and I really enjoy those. I think it's good. It's cool to see, like, a little insight that I would have never seen. Kamina's voice actor's there, and he's always super hyped, so that's exciting. And none of that is present in this, like, the colorful stage movie, and I think it desperately needed it. And also, the pacing is super off for me. It doesn't do a good job with all of the characters, but I can see now from, again, my daughter's perspective, why it's like that and why it's set up the way it is to, like, evenly distribute them throughout the movie, even though it kills the pacing a little bit. I had a good time. Like I said, even though it takes kind of a long time to find its feet and get there, I had a good, enjoyable time. If you're into it, even a little bit, it's probably worth a watch. Even like a regular anime fan, probably find something to enjoy. There will be some minor problems. Again, the Sekai thing is not really explained, and I think we could exchange 10 minutes of the kids running around to, like, properly explain what a Sekai is, or delve into it even slightly, because it seems like we've seen dot hack sign and we've seen, you know, a lot of other things, but it never does a good job delving into that. There's a legitimate message here about making content and feeling like you can't be seen or whatever, that from, like, a crappy YouTube channel. I kind of see what they're trying to say, but they never really take the time to say it. Again, there's like 10, 15 too many characters to really get a grip on any of what they're trying to convey properly. In the same way that Vivi Fluoride's Eye tries so hard to have that really good message, and, like, the show just is not written quite well enough to do a great job. I wanted a little bit more, but I guess for a video game movie, which my daughter revealed to me that, like, the video game has been out for like 6 years, it's great. It's pretty great for what it is, and I guess I don't know anything about it. I didn't say Robotech, so you crybabies won't bother me in the comments about it, because that's what every other social media, if you say Robotech, they freak out, even though, you know.